Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. This is Jonathan, your host, and here at RedBeard Outdoors, as you know, we talk about three things: faith and family, fitness, and the outdoors. And today I have an awesome guest for you. I love having these conversations with people. Honestly, I'm blessed, spoiled, whatever you want to call it. I get to have these amazing people in my life. But first of all, just want to welcome those who may be new. And thank you so much for choosing my podcast. You have so many out there that you can choose from, and you choose mine. Thank you very much. Also, for those of you that continue to listen, I love and appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Now, I don't run ads on this podcast. I leave links down below to gear that I use, things that I recommend with backcountry fuel, protein, nutrition, things along those lines. Go check them out down below. And also I leave my email down there so you can shoot me a screenshot of your review and I'll send you something in the mail. Today, I've got an awesome guy named Collin Cottrell. He's a great dude, successful, multiple business owner, has built up and sold businesses. Now he's currently on this venture that I just love so much. His adventure in life incorporates the three things that I talk about here at RedBeard Outdoors. Just like most people that I've had, if not I think every single person that I've had on here incorporates those three main things that I've noticed that people who are successful, healthy, and happy incorporate to some degree faith and family, fitness, and the outdoors in their lives. And that's what I want to share with you. So amazing conversation. Go check him out. I'll leave his links down below. High caliber hunts. He'll discuss that a little bit more as well. Just an amazing guy. Great dad. Loves Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, loves fitness, and is on his own journey as well. So without further ado, guys, here's Collin Cottrell. All right, I've got an awesome guest here. His name is Collin Cottrell.
Yep.
I just figured that out.
Got it.
And he's an awesome guy here. He started High Caliber Hunts. We'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, without further ado, Collin, who are you?
Who am I? Do you want the elevator pitch or elevator speech?
Whatever you want.
No, man, I'm just a, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, that's really who I am. I'm just a guy out here that's been in the hunting industry for 15 years this year. It's pretty crazy actually to think about. I've been a marketing guy for a lot of years. I've kind of been an entrepreneur. I've built a few different businesses. You mentioned High Caliber Hunts. That's my latest venture that I've started. I'm pretty pumped up. I'm working on that right now, really working hard on that. But man, I'm just like I said, I'm just a dad and a husband and just a regular guy who wants to be great in life and tries to take those steps every day to level up in life and become a better dad, a better husband, a better community leader, better, friend, whatever it is, trying to do those kinds of things. So that's my quick overview of who I am. I mean,
Cool.
I'm sure we'll dig in and get deeper and talk into some pretty fun topics, but yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on here, though, by the way. So
yeah, I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about that. So you're your husband.
Yep.
And a father.
Yep.
So how many kids do you have?
Yeah, I've got three little ones, man. My oldest daughter, she's gonna be 6 later this month. My second daughter, Autumn, she's gonna be 5 this year in July, and then my son, he just turned 1 in January. So I've got a pretty full house. That was a life-changing thing for me, as I'm sure it is for most guys. I mean, you get married, and that's the first step of leveling up, is now you've got to take care of somebody other than yourself. That's your wife, of course, and you've got to, protect her and watch over her and make sure everything's good in the household. But just takes it to a whole new level when you start having kids and now that's your blood right there. That's going to carry your name for the rest of your life. That you're an example to them. So yeah, man, it's fun being a dad. I love it. It's really pushed me to a place in my life I never thought I'd actually get to, which is kind of crazy to think about, because this generation, like they're like, oh, I don't think I want to have kids. I hear that a lot. Like last weekend I was in Columbia, South Carolina, and I had this Lyft driver, and he's like, yeah, I just got married 6 months ago, and we're thinking about having kids, but we're kind of undecided. And he's like, my wife is more on the side of not wanting to have kids. I kind of have thought about it, but I don't want to be bogged down. I don't want to have to think about somebody 24 hours a day. I'm like, man, like, it's the best thing in the world. You're gonna that 24 hours in the day isn't going to be about like being bogged down. It's going to be like you getting better and improving in life and doing everything you can to take care of not only your wife, but now your kids. So it's kind of funny, like I was saying, that this generation has this whole thing with kids. They don't want to be bogged down, but I find that it has actually helped me become so much better in my life in all areas. So yeah, man, that's a little bit about, just my kids, my family life. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I agree with you that mindset seems to be a little bit rampant nowadays, that that people don't want to bring kids into this crazy world.
Yeah.
Now COVID, like all the excuses, right? And the thing that I tell people is, if you're not ready for kids, don't have them. It's like, if you're not ready for...
But are you ever going to be ready for kids? I never was.
Well, like, honestly, yeah. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You can't be 100% ready for kids. I agree with that. But like, if you're to the point where you're concerned about being quote unquote bogged down, there's a point there. I get what you're saying. Like, maybe financially you're not in a perfect place, or maybe just physically or mentally you're just not in that right spot yet. And there's something to be said for that. I agree. But I think, man, honestly, I wasn't in a super great place when I started having kids, but it turned something on in my head where I was like, all right, it's go time. It's this little girl's going to look up to me for the rest of my life. This little boy's going to look up to me. I'm going to be his example of what a man is, So there's just something that clicks on, whether you're ready or not. For most men, I think, have something inside them that just clicks on. Is like, all right, it's go time. It's time to do this and really, take it serious. So I agree with that. I would say that, when you're ready to even start thinking about or considering having kids, I think that's a really good time to just dive in, because you won't ever be at that spot.
You're not going to be perfectly ready.
Exactly.
Ever.
Like, you're not going to have the perfect car or the perfect financial stability or the perfect physical fit, and like none of that's going to be perfect, right?
Exactly.
But when you want to bring another human being into this world, like, it's something special for sure.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm kind of in a weird spot where I always knew I was going to be a dad.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, like, it was no question.
You got 5, right?
Yeah, we got 5 kids.
Man,
yeah,
it's nuts.
Well, you're catching up to me. You got 3.
Yeah, I'm on my way. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. But yeah, man, it's a blessing for sure, 100%. And I love that's a big part of your life.
Huge.
So let's just talk a little bit about that. So you've got your oldest daughter's 6.
Yeah, she'll be 6 here later this month.
And you've got her in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool story. So I've always kind of had this mindset, like, I want to push my kids into things like that they like, but not push them, I guess. Like, I'm not going to ever force them to do anything that they don't want to do, but I'm going to definitely get them around different things and have them try different things. And she's 5, and she had come to... Sorry, we can dwell on her way, man. She's just going to keep going from here. I can see it already. And I can already see my second daughter, like, she's asking questions now too. She's like, when do I get to start training? And with our school, they try to start them at 5, 6 years old, depending on, your size and, what you're capable of. And, so my second daughter, I think she's going to probably be starting here after she turns 5 later this summer. And man, it's really cool just to see that, because it's something that I've become so passionate about that has helped change my life, not just, physically, but also the mental, emotional, the kind of the spiritual side of it. It's an art. It's something where you're having fun out there, sweating and working hard, getting choked out potentially, like you're getting in tough situations, but it's also one of those things that keeps you centered. It keeps you, when I go to jiu-jitsu and I train jiu-jitsu, it's, I'm there and I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just thinking, all right, what's the task at hand? Let's work hard at that. Let's learn. Let's stay focused in, and then let's enjoy some time with good people. So it's been an awesome journey, man. And just to see my daughter come into that, I'm pumped up about it, because like, I'm a young dad. This is all new. I'm just trying to figure it out myself, and just to see her want to be part of that and be part of something I'm doing, especially it's my daughter, it's not even a son. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool to see that you're getting your daughter into something that's special to you, like jiu-jitsu. And I know, I just got Asher started a couple weeks ago, and he was so excited to get his first stripe. And I know every school does it differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, he really loves it. He really does. And I made him commit to a year.
Yeah.
So you're nice. And you told her 6 months. But I was like, if I'm buying you this gi, and I'm signing you up.
Yeah.
We're doing this
Yeah,
for a year.
you bought the gi right away
Exactly.
and stuff then. So I said, hey, let's do the no gi for the six months. Let's see how it goes. If you like it, then I'll invest the money into, because those gis aren't cheap, So, and plus they grow, they grow out of them so quick. She probably won't be in that gi for, maybe 3-4 years, but, then they grow out of it. So I was like, yeah, you got to stick with it for a little bit here, and then we'll level up and go from there. But yeah, she's in love with it. But that's cool, man. So he's already got his first stripe and everything. How long has he been training? A couple months, you said?
No, just a couple weeks.
So really?
Yeah, they do it different.
That's cool.
Yeah, here.
Well, beginner. I suppose a beginner class. Or I think a lot of schools do the beginner classes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the beginner class for kids. I don't even know how it is for adults, but for kids, it's every 5 classes until you get a certain amount of stripes, and then they do start doing testing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he was super excited about that, and I love the hands-on aspect.
Yes.
I love that the coaches are right there, at least at the school that we're at. They're right there helping the kids.
Yeah.
Walking them through, making sure no one's getting hurt.
Yeah,
but also letting them get in those awkward situations.
Let them do some different things, try some different things, figure. Get in a tough situation where you kind of got to figure it out, and I'm seeing that with Sophia as well. She's like, there's moments, because I'm there coaching her in a sense too, like. And she's getting choked out, and I'm just watching her. I'm thinking, oh, how's this gonna go? And then she either taps out or she wiggles out of it and turns around and makes a move. And so it's been kind of cool, like to see her in those situations, but also for me to like just let that naturally happen, because I do it, so I get it. You gotta put yourself in those situations. So I think there's a lot to learn from at a young age with jiu-jitsu. I mean, like you were just kind of alluding to, like it's the physical side, but there's also just these mental side, the emotional side. Like, you're learning so many different aspects that you're gonna actually use in real life. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So I wanted to touch something because I know jiu-jitsu is a part of your journey, but I asked who you were, but also like a little bit more in depth. Like you've been on the journey for, was it been a year, 2 years?
So I've kind of been on this self-improvement journey really since I got married and started having kids, but it really got locked in. Honestly, I could say just before COVID hit, that year before that, my wife and I were actually going through a lot of issues, marital type issues, and we'd only been married for 2.5 years, and we were both ready to throw in the towel and say, hey, I don't think this is going to work out. We're done. And I know that happens with a lot of young marriages, but we didn't start off on the right foot. Let's just put it that way. But from there, I just knew, hey, it's time to really take a look at yourself, kind of just start thinking about myself and what I'm doing, how I'm leading, what kind of person am I being? Am I doing what I say? Am I saying what I do? Those kinds of things. And I really took a self-assessment, and I wasn't being a good man. I wasn't being a good father. I wasn't being a good husband in a lot of different situations. So kind of had this aha moment where one day I said, you know what? I need to get into counseling with my wife. We need to go see a pastor, see whatever, find a good Christian counselor, and we need to start, hashing through these issues, working on these issues. And then from there, things started to improve and grow, and we weren't at each other's necks anymore. And we were like, man, we love each other. We care about each other. We want to grow together. We want to, go on this journey of life together. So from there, it just, after COVID, then, thank God we went through that before COVID, because then we were at home together all year like everybody else. I mean, we wouldn't be together right now, I don't think. I mean, and I'd probably be in jail or something. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, not that I'm a bad guy, but who knows? You know what I mean? I was not on a good path. So getting on that path now of self-improvement to be a better dad, to be a better husband, has kind of advanced, and it takes steps. Next step, so after COVID, I'd put on a lot of weight. Actually, I went from, I've always been a big guy. I was a college football player. I've lifted weights. I've always kind of been an athlete, a bigger guy, but an athlete. So I've always stayed around 250 pounds, but I'm strong. I'm 6'3", I'm not a small guy. But I put on, 40 pounds, I think, or 50 pounds that year. And so I was up to about 290, right at 290 around Christmas time of 2020. And I just remember it was New Year's Day, actually. I remember looking in the mirror and just thinking, man, what's going on here? This is not good. I might be improving in my marriage. I might be improving as a dad, but there's more to this. I don't feel good. I'm tired all the time. I'm not working out like I should be, as often as I should be. I need to do something here. So I kind of said to myself, all right, what I'm going to do is because I know it takes small steps. You can't just throw yourself into it. And when you do just try to throw yourself into it, a lot of times, you overload yourself and, so you kind of gotta ease into it and kind of take the baby steps approach, kind of the snowball effect, I guess you call it, to quote Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you know who Dave Ramsey is, but anyway, we've kind of went through his stuff. But anyway, so I was like, okay, my first goal is going to be trying to work out 20 days a month. That was kind of which would be about 5 days a week, to work out, whether it's, just a 1 hour workout, whether it's a run, a hike, something where I get a sweat going and really kind of put some effort into it, a lift. And then eventually it turned into jiu-jitsu because I had started jiu-jitsu that next month as well, training jiu-jitsu. So that was kind of just my first goal. I was like, man, if I can get through this first month and work out 20 days, we'll see what happens, Well, then from there, the next step was, man, I'm feeling kind of good. I'm kind of getting on track here a little bit. I'm staying focused. I'm a working dad. I'm running a business. I'm doing a lot of different things. So, I figure if I can get those 20 days in, that should be pretty good. That should be a pretty good amount for me. Well, then I started looking at what I was eating. I started to look at, how I was training, what kind of type, ways I was training. How can I work that all together, optimally? Can I, walk around during the day, get out and get away from the desk and get more steps in during the day, those kinds of things. So I started kind of putting this all together, and I was like, man, I really need to start to level up and take this to the next level now. I've got this workout thing. I'm going, I'm hitting the gym. I've got that routine in place after this first month, but I know I can take it to the next step. So I actually did hire a trainer to kind of help me. I know a lot about training, but I knew I needed to have somebody that was going to be an accountability partner. So I hired my buddy Josiah, and he came in and he kind of got me on a good food plan. He got me, with a community of people that could, that were encouraging each other, kind of all, working hard towards different things. And then from there, really it was just about doing the work. So I started, tracking my calories, tracking my protein, getting all my protein in, and then focusing like every day trying to get like 10,000, 12,000 steps, those kinds of just little things like that. And then mixing in my workout routine that I had already started. And from there I was just like, man, I'm starting to feel really good. I'm getting, it's slow, I'm losing a few pounds here and there, but it takes time, especially those first few months. Your hormones are all messed up. You've been eating horrible for months and months, for years really. Yep. And so your body's transitioning during that time. So yeah, man, I've went on this journey of, self-improvement, but then it transitioned into more self-improvement with my eating and my food and my physical, how I am physically. But then from there, as it's not just that. Now it's mental. Now it's emotional. Now it's spiritual. Like I'm spending more time around my Christian brothers. I'm spending more time with my wife as much as I can. I'm spending more time with my kids because I feel better. So it's transitioning into all these other things. And as you start and you get on a roll, it just grows from there. And that's, I guess I would say that most people try to throw everything down at once, but you really just need to start slow, get in a good routine, get some good discipline built up, and then keep moving up from there.
No, for sure. And how many pounds have you lost? Sorry, I know you just took a drink, but
no, it's okay. It's all good, man. No, man. So I was 290 pounds, and by that September, I was at 215 pounds. So I had, I guess that's 75, 75 pounds. Yeah, my Minnesota math. Yeah. 75 pounds, which was, pretty crazy, man. It was, I couldn't believe it. Like, I look at myself in the mirror now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I put in the work. I put in the time. I put in the effort, I don't feel like the same person though. I know I'm not the same person. I'm on a whole nother level now, and now I just want to keep doing that in all areas of my life, not just the physical side, but like I said, all these other sides, and just continue to level up and become the best man I can be in all areas. One of my goals this year is like to become better at tactical training and shooting guns and different, because I've always been a bow hunter. I've shot guns, but I've never really spent time actually training and learning really like tactically how to defend yourself and how to be in different situations. So that's like one of the things I'm working on this year. Again, I'm doing another thing this year, like where I kind of mentioned the 20 days a month. Well, I extended that out through the whole year last year, and I ended up working out. My goal was 240 days, 240 1-hour workouts for the whole year is what that total would be, and I ended up getting about 260. So I went 20 over. So this year my goal is to get 300, you know, really push that limit a little bit and try to get there, even with hunting season, even with busy schedule. Like today I went and trained jiu-jitsu. I flew here into Salt Lake City, and I was like, I'm not missing my training. I love it. It's part of my routine. It's part of who I am. It's part of what I do. And that's what happens. It becomes who you are. And that's the best way to do it. It shouldn't be work. It shouldn't be like dreadful. It should be doing something that you actually enjoy doing, and doing it because like it's just part of your day. It's part of who you are now. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's crazy journey. 75 pounds, and now I'm putting on a lot of muscle as well, which is cool. I lift about 3 days a week. I roll jiu-jitsu 2 to 3 days a week, and I run most, every couple days I go for runs, 3 to 5 mile runs, and man, I feel amazing. It's an awesome thing, man. I just hope more people get on this same journey, and I know people are, because I get Instagram messages every day of people, man, like, what you did is amazing. I'm on this journey now. I've lost 10 pounds of this and that. Like, it's crazy that, like, one small guy like me, my little transition or my little journey that I've went on is inspiring other people, and that's what I hope. I want more of that, and I want them to go on and inspire their communities.
Yep,
so
exactly, yeah. And I love that, that you talked about. Well, first of all, I just want to hit on you brought up some really good things in there. But first of all, just the fact that you're saying you need to make it your baseline. And then once you make that new step your baseline, then you step more from there.
Exactly.
And you keep going forward. Some people try and take on finances, relationship, fitness, nutrition all at once.
At the same time.
And you can't.
Yeah,
well,
you can.
I guess you can, but you're not going to do any of it really good.
You can, but you're right. You kind of got to focus on each one individually kind of first, get them all dialed in, and then work them all together. I think that's kind of the best way to do it. Now, I mean, everybody's capable of different things, it just depends who you are and where you've been and where you're going. So, that can all change. But I find for me, especially with like when it comes to the physical side and my eating and my working out, like I just needed to kind of take it slow, set one small goal, and then let that goal extend out from there. You can always change your goals down the road, you know what I mean? So, and make them harder or whatever, make them different. So yeah,
exactly.
But I agree with you on that, man. That's the way to do it, whether it's finances, whether it's, any of those different areas. So, yeah.
No, I like it. And then you don't become complacent. You hit that level, and now that's your new baseline. That's your bare minimum.
Yeah.
And you move on from there. You don't just say, okay, well, now I've hit my peak,
Well,
and
I remember when I started doing some running and stuff last year, because I hate running. Like, I hate running. But I was like, I knew that running was going to be important for me to, to step it up. It's something that I don't like, so why not do something I don't like and kind of push myself out of that comfort zone a little bit. So I started running, and I think my first run was like just for a mile, and it took me like 20 minutes, I think, or something. I'm like walking half of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I? And okay, yeah, we're in South Texas. It's the middle of summer. It's hot, whatever. But I just remember, all right, just keep doing it every day. Just keep going for that walk or that run or whatever. Hike as hard as you can, run as hard as you can, and just keep getting better every day. And now I can run, 3 miles easy at, an 8-minute mile each time. So it's like, it's crazy to think back. Like, I was like a 20-minute mile to, like an 8-9-minute mile over 3 miles now, or 5 miles or whatever, So it's cool, man. Like, if you can start slow and work your way up, I mean, anything is possible, I think, in life. Anything is truly possible if you really put that time and put that effort and put that energy into it and focus on it and get that discipline.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely, I love that you bring up that you hate running, because I absolutely hate running. I hate it.
How do people like running?
I don't know, man.
No, my wife actually likes running.
But they probably think the same thing about jiu-jitsu or weights or whatever, And it is about finding that thing that gets you active.
Yeah. Well, and like I was saying, like, I pursued running because I actually don't like it. And there's just something inside of me as I went on this journey. Like, I knew that to continue to level up, I need to approach things that I don't necessarily like, because then now I actually don't mind running it. I mean, I don't love it, but I actually don't mind it. It's kind of fun to go for a run and throw the earbuds in and listen to a good podcast or whatever, and get that time by yourself and kind of just feel the breeze on your face and sweat a little bit, and it's just different. It's different than the jiu-jitsu. It's different than the lifting, It's just that different element. And I know for me, one of my goals is to get back out west and do some elk hunting and do some mule deer hunting with my bow and arrow. So I know I'm going to need to have that side of things dialed in as well. So there you go.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's 100% true. And again, it's amazing to me that you've realized that the mindset was what changed as well.
Dude.
It's not just the physical, but something too that you pointed out was you had a moment where you looked in the mirror,
Yeah.
and it usually is either a picture or the mirror. Like almost everyone that I've spoken with that has had this major transition, you don't like taking pictures anymore, or you look in the mirror one morning, you're like, what the frick happened to me?
Yeah, no,
You know?
I just remember that moment looking in that mirror. Like, I just got out of the shower. I'm like,
It hurts.
Oh my gosh, man, look at that belly.
Yeah,
That
it
thing was
hurts.
hanging.
It hurts. No, for sure.
It did hurt. Like it was a moment that, you know, I was very humbled and like, man, like it's time, it's go time. And here's the other part of it too, is my son was due to be born within days of that. So I was like thinking, I don't just have 2 anymore. Now I have 3 and a boy, you know, and boys are more aggressive. They're going to take more time, more energy, more effort. Plus, I'm his dad, and I want him to look at me and see somebody who he's impressed with and who's going to lead him and who he's going to want to be like. So, I mean, I should be thinking that anyway with my daughters, because I want them to find a man hopefully like me, but I definitely wasn't that man that I wanted them to find of that example, you know. So that was another big part of it too, is that looking in the mirror, but then it brought all these different thoughts to me, like, all right, it's go time, man. Like it's time to grow up and level up in these other areas.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure, it definitely changes, and I love too that you brought in the kids, because that was a big thing for me in my transition, was knowing that I wanted to be around for my kids.
Yeah.
I want to be the grandpa that's out running my grandkids up on a mountain. You know, I want to take them and get them involved in all these things. That I want to be able to go kayaking across a lake without dying while I'm on the lake. You know.
Yeah, you want to be, you know, the guy who's 60, 70 years old and out there, you know, going bow hunting with your son still when he's 40. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, how awesome would that be? Or for me, like I think about now jujitsu. Like I think I could legitimately be training jujitsu up into my 70s and maybe into my 80s potentially if I stay physically fit and eat right and have some luck too, I guess, you know.
No, that's awesome. So and I love that you're talking and kind of feeding back into the whole building on your baseline. You've started this company. Obviously, you've been a guide, or I don't know what it's called down in Texas, but you've worked in the hunting industry for a while.
So yeah, my start was in the marketing side. I've had my own agency, a marketing agency. I've also had my own website that was very successful. That I sold that and did really well with that. So I've been kind of an entrepreneur my whole life, even just from I remember my first month in college, I realized, like, man, I could work in the hunting industry and I could build websites and do graphic design and I could do all these different things. And then it went into social media, and then from there just consulting on business strategy and marketing strategy, you know, and it just kept growing from there. And I kind of became this jack of all trades who was good at most of them, but, you know, not great at all of them, you know, but I understood all of them enough to build a business around it. So from there, I live in Texas now. I'm originally from Minnesota. That's where I grew up. But living in Texas, like, the hunting side of things there is crazy. It's awesome. Like, you can hunt all year. There's wild pigs all year that you can hunt. There's exotics. It's a whole nother, you know, thing there. It's like, man, you feel like you're in another country. You know, it's amazing. So I started doing some of this, you know, just being a hunter myself and liking to take people. I like to take people hunting. So I'd take a lot of my friends to my hunting lease, and, you know, I just new hunters, I'd take them out, you know, try to take them out. And from there, that passion for just taking people hunting kind of grew, and I started to get into guiding. So I started guiding at some different ranches that I was connected with. And I was like, man, this is a lot of fun, like entertaining people and hunting. The hunting camp atmosphere is really what I was addicted to. Like, I love just hanging out, having great conversations with people, spending time in good food. And actually, like, one of the things I think that separated me from some other people, you know, some other guides potentially, because I've been in guided hunting camps where those guys just do their work and they don't talk to you really, and they don't really do anything else. They're not really personable. And I like to be personable. I like to talk to people. So when I was in these hunting camps, I'd start to actually, like, ask questions like, so what's life like? You know, like, how many kids you got? You know, these guys are coming in for this paid hunt. They just want somebody to talk to and hang out with. Like, they just want to enjoy their time. It actually has become less about, I mean, the hunting part of it is fun, don't get me wrong. And that's a big crucial part, especially when you're guiding and, you know, making sure that, you know, your hunters get on some good animals. But, like, the hunting camp side of it is what really got me going. And I was like, man, this is fun. So from there, it kind of advanced forward to, guiding hunts. And then I kind of got this idea in my mind, like, man, how cool would it be to like have these hunting camps where it's all these different guys who are like me, like who, or women. It doesn't just have to be men, but just people in general who are kind of like leveling up in life and want to be around those kind of people. Because I've actually guided some hunters, unfortunately, that were not great people and not people I wanted to spend time with, but those people are paying for that hunt, and I'm working for an outfitter, so it was my job to take care of them. But I didn't spend a lot of time with those ones because they, whatever, I didn't see eye to eye with who they were. But the idea with high caliber hunts was, man, I can get people around me that like I actually want to be around. And they're going to refer their friends who are probably on the same path, on the same level. So that's where the high caliber idea comes into it. It's like getting these high caliber men and women around each other where we can spend time together, eat the good food, have the good conversations, have a fun time hunting, break down animals together. Maybe some people haven't done that before. That's intimidating. Just having different people in camp where, hey, we're there to help each other out. We're here to, yes, I'm a guide and I'm going to guide you. I'm going to take care and make sure everything's good. But it's kind of fun having everybody put a hand in and work hard together at something, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm trying to facilitate with this. I'm trying to create that vibe as part of this, and I'm pretty pumped about it, man. I think it's going to be a really cool thing. And now you can add on to that, like potentially maybe having somebody, in the self-development space. One example would be like my buddy Ryan Mickler. Ryan wanted to get into hunting. I took him on his first hunt back 6 years ago now. And so he's super passionate about bow hunting. He's super passionate about hunting now. And me and him kind of were talking about this idea, and he'd be kind of cool to have Ryan in camp, and then, he's got a lot of people that ask him all the time, like, hey, Ryan, can I come on a hunt with you? That'd be really cool. So, you create that opportunity now for people who want to rub shoulders with a guy like Ryan, who's a super awesome guy, but he's also somebody who's, he's leading the way for people with what he's doing with his organization. He's helping men level up in life, and now you get to come into camp, meet him, hang out with him, go hunting with him, break down some animals with him. So there's a lot of levels to that. Who knows who we could get in camp that would want to. There's a lot of guys out there now with hunting becoming so popular and more mainstream, with guys like Joe Rogan and Cameron Haynes putting it out there. It'd be really cool. Imagine coming into hunting camp and, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but and get to hunt with Joe Rogan or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know. So that's kind of the basis. It's about getting good people together, but potentially, having some really cool, high caliber type people in camp to maybe give a talk around a campfire while we're there as well. Talk about their story, about what they're doing. Maybe have some veterans in there who have been wounded or something like that, to talk about their stories, or just have a theme. Like, one of the ideas I have is to do like a father-son hunt, like initiation type hunt, or a husband-wife like hunt where it's like a blind date, like a weekend away from the kids, to do a pig hunt with your husband, husband and wife, and spend some time together, have some good food, don't have to worry about everything. So there's a lot of different ideas and different ways I want to do it, but just kind of building it and putting it together, pretty pumped up about it, man. I'm excited. And I know you're coming on a hunt here in April. We're doing that pig hunt in South Texas, so I'm excited that you're going to be there, and we'll have to podcast again, maybe from camp. So
for sure. No, that's awesome. And it's I don't do the video podcasting yet. Hopefully, eventually I'll get there.
We'll have to, though.
Yeah. But if you guys could see just the spark in his eyes when he talks about this project, it's so passionate coming from him. Like, and I love the idea. You brought up Ryan Mickler, Order of Man. If you guys haven't heard of him, go check him out. He's definitely someone that's leading the way for men in this time where men are being emasculated left and right, whether it be being a father or whatever it is. But again, going back to Collin's passion for this, if you're wanting to get into hunting, you want to get around good men that maybe you don't have that opportunity because you're so busy at work or whatever, reach out to Collin. He's an awesome dude, and high caliber hunts. I'm so excited to go on this. Like, Clint,
I'm pumped up, man.
Clint introduced me to this, and I'm so glad that he did, because Texas has been on my radar for a while.
It's actually kind of interesting. The more I talk to people, they're like, man, I'd love to come hunt in Texas. And I was like, I kind of started actually putting two and two together, because I'm from Minnesota originally. So a lot of my uncles and a lot of my friends and stuff, like, they're like, what's it like out there? Like, what's it like outside of Minnesota? You know what I mean? Like, come on out, let's go hunting, So, I mean, I already have a built-in, base of people that want to go on these hunts and stuff. I was like, well, I just need to put it together and facilitate it. But just kind of going back to like what you were saying, like, I think what sets what I'm trying to do apart and why that sparkle is in my eye is for the fact that, like, I've built some businesses before, and it was all about me, and it was all about what I was going to get out of it. Now, don't get me wrong. When you build a business, like, you're focused on, like, building a business. So you want to have success, and you want to do a really good job and, make money and build it into a real business that's, successful for a long time. But what's different about this project is, like, the whole idea has come from the fact that I want to make an impact on people, because I've had people around me that have made an impact on me, and now I want to try to push that forward and bring people into camp so we can all have an impact on us, but then maybe trickle down into our families and our friends as well. So that's hunting adventures with an impact. That's kind of the tagline that I'm using, and I think that's what separates this one apart from anything else I've ever done in my young life.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and a lot of people can get into that mindset that hunters are, you think redneck or whatever you want to think, right? Especially in Texas, like they walk out of their truck and they shoot a deer right there off the road, like.
We can do that if you want.
Right. There you go. If you want that kind of hunt.
Yeah.
But no, like for me, I wouldn't have got into hunting if it wasn't for he was my neighbor. Now he's my best friend. That took me out.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He's a great family man, great dad, runs his own business. He's a CPA, and he just introduced me to the good side of hunting.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, shoot whatever you see.
Yeah.
It was the enjoyment of finding animals and watching them in their habitat. And today we're not going to shoot because, I'm going to hold off. That's a young buck, and I just want to watch him. And learning that way, I think, is awesome, and it's going to be exciting going down to Texas and learning about that.
I think that mentorship is super important. I think we need to see more of that. I know personally for me, I really try to focus on, hey, yeah, we're going hunting, but the reality is this is hunting, and we might not see anything, we might not have an opportunity anything, but let's enjoy hunting camp together. Let's have a good time. Let's do these different things together, and make it more about the experience. Make it more about what we're doing in camp. And yes, don't get me wrong. I love to put an arrow through something and have that success and bring home that meat and cook those meals. But I think there's something to be said for mentoring people and explaining, hey, there's so much more to this than just the hunting and the killing, part of it. It goes beyond that. And, I'm super passionate about that side of it. And I can see where, potentially like guys coming into camp, I mean, we're going to give them an opportunity to learn, to be mentored by us, Mm-hmm. You're pretty much a new hunter, Clint hasn't been hunting that long. We're getting guys in camp who are pretty pumped up about hunting right now. But now I get a chance to kind of mentor you guys in this camp, and there's probably going to be some other guys in this camp as well that have hunted for a while, and they're going to mentor you, and I'm going to mentor you, and now you guys are going to take what you learn, and you're going to go out to your friends in your community and mentor them. So that's really what it's all about. That's what's super important about this.
Oh, for sure. So wanted to ask, how do you get your family involved in the outdoors?
That's a great question. I think the best way to do it, and the way I'm trying to do it, is just to bring them into the outdoors. Whether it's go for a walk, just go outside and watch birds, go. I bring my girls out to the lease all the time, my hunting lease, and we go fill feeders and check trail cameras. We do all these little things, whatever it is, not necessarily even the hunting part of it. Like, you'll get to that point where you actually take them hunting, but I think it's just building it to that point, the walks in the woods, the explaining to them what a trail camera is, explaining to them what you're doing. In Texas we feed deer with feeders, so feeding the deer, filling the feeders, checking the trail camera, showing them the pictures of the animals at the feeders, even just going out, setting up stands and blinds, those kinds of things I think are, that's really what the hunt is about. It's all of that. I mean, that's all year you're doing those kinds of things. It's, it's that short amount of time when you actually put an arrow through an animal and then, blood track it or whatever. That's a super small part of the thing, Then you're breaking that animal down. Then you're, making meals with that animal all year. So even just part of it for me is like, hey, this is a buck that Dad shot, this year. I got the mount. They see the mount on the wall, and then I'm like, here's the meat from it. Mm-hmm. We're eating. We're having sloppy joes tonight from the deer that Dad killed. So just those kinds of things. I mean, are the little things like that are what start to explain to them, help them understand like what's going on. And then from there, as you start to take them into the woods more and more and they spend more time out there, you're just going to start to mentor them more and more, and they're going to start asking more questions, and they're hopefully become passionate about it like you are. You know what I mean? Yep. So I think that's the best way to do it.
I agree with that 100%. You got to make it enjoyable for them,
Yeah.
And show them the process behind it.
Yeah, show them all areas of it, not just the hunt and the kill or the hunt and just the sit and wait. That can be kind of boring sometimes. Yeah, I mean it's the patience is hard when you're a kid. As adults we have more patience and we get it might take me sitting out here all year to finally kill a deer, but for them they don't understand that. They think, oh, when is it coming? When are we going to get this done? So taking them along in that whole process actually kind of helps with the full process of getting them into the outdoors more.
Definitely, 100%. So, I mean, you've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I want to ask you, what was a highlight of this last year for you?
Man, like hunting-wise, or
whether
just...
it be hunting or with your family, what was the highlight? Just one, if you had to pick one.
Man.
You had a lot.
Yeah, it was last year was a pretty damn good year, man. It was a good year, I would say. I don't know, man, like so many good adventures with family and friends and going to a jiu-jitsu immersion camp with Origin. I didn't mention that, but I did that last year. It was pretty cool. A week-long camp out in Maine, learning jiu-jitsu with super high-level guys. That was a lot of fun. Man, I don't know. I think that was probably my highlight. I mean, obviously, my transformation, that's a great highlight, don't get me wrong, but that's me. That's about me. It's like there's just, I think the times with my family and my friends, bringing people into the outdoors, bringing new hunters out. I had a couple guys that come out with me last year hunting, and they got their first animals. I had one of my best buddies is a wounded vet, and he lost his freezer full of meat.
Oh,
and
that's the worst.
And like they live off that meat. Him and his family do. And he's like, man, I don't really have a place to hunt, and this and that. And I was like, come on, let's go. And he ended up shooting a doe and filling up his freezer a little bit. Just little things like that, man. Those are the biggest highlights to me. That's what I think is important. It's not about me. I think just me working on myself is cool, and it gives me the opportunity to have these other opportunities that are actually more meaningful and important. So, long question to the answer, but yeah, I can't really pinpoint one.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. That's good. And then on that note, what's a highlight for 2022 that you're looking forward to? Something that you're looking forward. Man, I know you're looking forward to a lot.
Yeah, I'm really pushing hard on building this business venture, high caliber hunt. So that's a big part of my focus right now is that, to be honest. I've taken back my time from doing I do marketing consulting as well. So I've kind of taken a step back from doing as much of that to really focus on building this business. So I've got a few hunts already lined up. I'm trying to line up some more, continue to build connections, continue to get my marketing going, start to do more social media posts, just connect with good people like you, Jonathan, Clint, and, other people. We're here at the, Western Hunt Expo, and it's a great place to come and just connect with different people that want to come to Texas and go hunting. So just doing those kinds of things, that's my focus this year, is some of that kind of stuff, on the business level. Being an entrepreneur, I love it. It's a lot of fun, but people don't see all the hard work that goes into it and all the time that goes into it. And thank God my wife she's kind of letting me do this. She's kind of, she's trusting that I'm going to make something happen with this. And she's starting to see that kind of start to come around now. Good. So it's cool, but yeah, it's not easy. It's a hard thing, but like I was saying earlier, you got to run towards those things that are tough, because that's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to get better. That's how you're going to improve. And I think that's where, whether I succeed at building this business or it branches off into other businesses or whatever, I just know that it's something good's going to happen, because I'm running towards something that's not easy. It's hard. So
no, for sure. That's awesome. And yeah, man, I don't really have much else to say. You've hit on all the points. I don't have any other questions for you. You kind of highlighted everything as far as family, fitness, the outdoors, your faith. You even hit on faith for us. And Yeah, I appreciate having you on.
Yeah,
man.
those are the things that are important to me, man. And I appreciate you having me on, man. This is so cool to finally connect. You know, we've been chatting back and forth on Instagram, watching each other's journey. I know you went through your own journey. You're getting after it. You know, it's cool, like I said, just to connect with guys like you and Clint and other guys here, you know, and just like get to hang out and, you know, be here in person and rub shoulders together and really help each other and learn from each other. And now, you know, I think that's the good side of social media. Now we get to stay connected through social media and continue to, you know, self-improve each other, but then pump each other up, you know what I mean, through that. So yeah, man, it's really cool.
That's awesome. Well, if people want to get in contact with you or want to go to this high caliber hunts, where can they find you?
Yeah, the best place to go is probably my personal website. It's Collin, Collin, Cottrell, COTTRELL.com, and from there you can go to High Caliber Hunts. You can see my marketing stuff that I do there, and just you can connect with me there if you want to send me a message, if you have any questions about hunting or anything, even just personal development type stuff. That's probably the best website to go visit. Otherwise, honestly, just hit me up on Instagram. Collin_Cottrell is my handle. Follow me there, and I'd be happy to help people out. I'm all about that. I want to help people out as much as I can. So
awesome. And then you've got one for the high caliber hunts too, right?
Yeah, highcaliberhunts.com is that. But you can connect to that.
Instagram.
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah, I do have an Instagram for that as well. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that one going. This first hunt that we're gonna go on is we're gonna have a camera crew in camp. So, So you're gonna have to turn it up. No pressure, man. But we're gonna have a camera crew, you know, to capture the hunt, to capture the atmosphere,
That's awesome.
to really tell this story that I'm trying to explain here, just even through this podcast. Like, I need to get that on video. I need to get that content built, you know, in place so I can actually really start to push it out on social media and help people understand what this looks like. Because this idea is a little different than just a regular hunting camp. You know, there's this idea of impact involved. So I want to really tell that story. So I'm pretty pumped actually about the hunt we're doing, because we're gonna have people in camp cooking. We're gonna have people in camp documenting it. It's gonna be a good time, man. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited for it. You guys, you know the websites. I'm going to leave them down below. Go find him on Instagram as well. Go check out his journey and how he's spending time with his family and involving all the three things that we talk about here at RedBeard Outdoors. Faith and family, fitness, and the outdoors into his life and making a super successful life out of it. So on that note, hope you guys have an amazing day. And as always, get out, live your life, and love it. Again, thank you so much for listening in. That was an amazing conversation. Looking forward to spending more time with Collin. You guys should go check out High Caliber Hunts. If it's something that you're interested in, you're a high caliber individual, you want to just hang out at a camp down in Texas, go hunt hogs and other options that he provides, go check it out. I'm so stoked to be down there in about a month and spend time with some just great individuals. And go support Collin. Go follow him through his adventure through life, family, fitness, and the outdoors that he's incorporating himself. See that it is possible. And you don't have to be a big Western hunter or anything along those lines to be able to do it. You can be successful in wherever you live with whatever passions you have. You just have to apply yourself. So, other than that, go check out the links down below. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend as it's wrapping up, and we're able to spend some time with family, and of course, continue to get out, live your life, and love it.